Hi everyone, Master Teacher Holly Holland here with another in our series of one healthy movement at a time, exercises designed to help us overcome osteopenia and osteoporosis. Today I'm going to use one of my favorite props, the resistance band. I use one that has a pretty healthy resistance. In this case, it's a green, which is about a medium level. We're going to do some clam shells today and some sideline legs that we call fire hydrants in my Pilates studio. The band just gives you an extra bit of oomph. You could certainly do these exercises without it, but I like to maximize resistance for the bones whenever I can. I've got just a small yoga block here that I'm going to put under my head. Now let me show you the way that we get into this position. I want to sit up tall, making sure that I'm not slumping into my low back, even as I do these simple preparations. I'm going to take the band, nice and fat, wrap it around my shins. Come under the shins, and then draw it around your thighs. Try not to cut off your circulation, just make it resistive and challenging, but not too much. So I'm going to tighten that out there, make a little loop, and lasso myself in there. Okay, now I'm going to come onto my side because that's the safe way to come onto a surface with low bone mass. Making sure that I'm nice and stacked here, so I'm going to come back here. Now, the preparation for clamshell, which works and stresses the piriformis, a very tight hip muscle for us, is that you have to feel your heels in line with your sit bones. You also don't want to round or slump forward. Can you see that my two pelvic bones are stacked here? At least I hope they are. And that my neck is nice and long. First, I'm going to just lift them up a little bit, turn into a bit of a Charlie Chaplin foot here. And now I'm going to squeeze those heels together and open that top knee. Wow, you feel it right away. My hand is here to really give you the sense of how I'm stressing the hip bone. As the femur bone drives into the acetabulum through this movement, we're really improving the bone density there in one of the most common fracture points with osteoporosis. So I try to do about 5 to 8 here, exhaling as I'm drawing apart to really claim into those abs. Let's do that 2 more times. I think that's about 8. And then bring it up. Now, as I work into the IT band, which is connective tissue here on the side of your hip that's also very tight, I want to make a right angle with my body. So I'm going to keep those bones stacked here in my pelvis and hip, and then bring the knees to track over each other. The work should be here in the hip. It's as if the hip and the knee and the foot are all one piece as I lift up. The tendency is going to be to let your lower leg do it. Try not to do that. You can see with my hand here, that's the emphasis that I want. That's where I have to really put on the resistance for that hip bone. These are excellent exercises to strengthen your bones in a very short time. Again, I'm trying to do about 5 to 8 here. Nothing too much. You just really want to stress that bone in a meaningful way, although you could build up to a couple of sets. Ooh, definitely feeling that. Okay, let's go to the other side. So I'm just going to do a nice little side movement, switch my block over there to make sure that I'm going to even things out. And you might be able to see my feet better in this direction. I'm going to be one long line. Try not to look at your feet because that would mean that your neck is rounding. Align your heels under your hip bones, squeeze together and lift up. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, find your abs. Really focus on that tracking motion and squeeze the heel each time. This does not have to be a very big movement. In fact, if you're moving it big, you probably aren't feeling the stress in the right area. Because once you get this well right, you know it right away. I think it's about 2 more, but I'm pretty terrible at counting because I talk so much. All right, now let's bring it to a right angle. Check to see that you've got that hip hinge right here. Remember, the stress is on the top hip. It's like there's a pump handle in your leg and you're bringing it all in one piece. Or like my dog, male dog, used to do all the time as he stopped at the fire hydrant. Let's call it 3. Exhale. Ooh, stress those abs, work that. Ha. All right, how do you get yourself out of there? Well, just come onto your back. You've got a little hip hinge here. Take some time depending on how tightly you have made that loop. We'll take it out. Whoops. I really got myself a number here. Loosen it, come to your side, press yourself up. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.